A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, there was a budding relationship between two Jedi of the Jedi Order. Jedi who had been friends since they both first joined the Jedi Order, who had been friends since they were Padawans, to initiates, to Jedi, and even to Jedi Knights. So today we are going to be talking about Qui-Gon Jinn and his love interest, Jedi Master Tahl of the Jedi Order. So without further ado, here we go. But first, as always, we start with a little bit of a breakdown. Jedi Master Tahl was first brought to the Coruscant Jedi Temple at the advanced age of 6. The young, Force-sensitive girl was permitted to start her training at the Jedi Temple. She was extremely well taught in the ways of the Jedi arts, and she was also a Nurian Jedi, meaning that she was very tall and that she had a complexion of skin much like dark honey, as well as dark hair, golden hair, and green and golden eyes. But of course, the first individual that Jedi Master Tahl actually made friends with as she was first initiated into the Jedi Temple was, of course, Qui-Gon Jinn. The two of them maintained a relationship throughout the entirety of their time as Jedi initiates all the way into knighthood, and would even participate during the exhibition day of 82 BBY, in which during this exhibition day, Tahl and Qui-Gon Jinn would both compete. They would both go through all their matches and win, and they would finally match up in the final round, where it would be one of the most interesting and one of the potentially greatest matchups between Jedi Padawans in the history of the Jedi Temple. And of course, with Tahl and Qui-Gon Jinn both knowing each other's strengths and both knowing each other's tactics, they both had an exceedingly long fight, which dragged out throughout the entirety of the day. They both dueled so spectacularly and so tremendously that all the spectators around them, even Jedi Masters, came to watch. But in the end, Tahl momentarily slipped on her own sweat, which caused Qui-Gon Jinn to knock her down on the ground, holding his training saber inches away from her, signaling his victory over Tahl. Of course, when it came time for Jedi Master Tahl to specialize herself in the Jedi art, she would of course choose the way of the Counselor. Specializing herself in researching, lore keeping, would become a librarian of the Jedi archives, but would still take on assignments from the Jedi Council, and her and Qui-Gon Jinn would still develop a budding relationship over the course of many years. Of course, it would be later on down the line when Tahl and Qui-Gon Jinn both achieved the rank of Jedi Master. At this point, Qui-Gon Jinn had already trained Femor and begun the tutelage of a young man named Xanatos, while Master Tahl was still refusing to take on students, but in 53 BBY, the High Council assigned Tahl as a steward to the orphaned Padawan known as Oricon Tamaric. As Master Tahl had taken on her new apprentice, she went to Telos 4 with her new apprentice, and after collecting several volumes of texts and remaining holocrons from the Telosian archives, Master Tahl departed from said archive building and stumbled upon a secret meeting in the exterior courtyard between a handful of men, and was seemingly attacked as they noticed that she was spying on them. Some shenanigans happen on Telos 4, and years later, in about 47 BBY, both Tahl and Jinn were dispatched to the planet known as Absalon as supervisors of the first free elections held on the world. While there, Tahl developed a close bond with both the twin daughters of the people's hero Iwe, known as Iritha and Alani. And as a symbol of the new democracy on Absalon, the planet was of course renamed to New Absalon, and Tahl reluctantly left the planet alongside Qui-Gon Jinn as she wanted to stay to ensure that the planet was actually stabilized. Unfortunately, however, shortly after this, at about 44 BBY, Tahl was sent as a peacemaker to the broken world of Maledia and Dawn, where the Maledia and Dawn people were murdering each other left and right, and she was caught in the middle of a battle where she lost her eyesight because she had got slashed across her eyebrow all the way down to her chin, causing her to lose her eyesight permanently, and she was actually rescued by Qui-Gon Jinn and his new Padawan learner by the name of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Though surprisingly, Tahl was not really affected by her blindness, as she was very well researched and had immense knowledge of galactic history, politics, and the backstory of practically everything and anything going on in the galaxy. And while Master Tahl was basically stuck in the Jedi Temple, she made herself useful by assisting Jedi before they departed on missions, giving them detailed backgrounds on planets, species, fauna, and literally everything that they might be able to encounter in the Star Wars galaxy, because of her immense knowledge of literally everything happening throughout the entirety of the galaxy when it came to galactic history, politics, and everything having to do with the backstory of literally every planet. But of course, whenever the Jedi Temple was vandalized and an attempt on Master Yoda's life was made, Tahl worked with Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn to try and uncover the perpetrator, and with the addition of several thefts, which included lightsabers and healing crystals of fire, Tahl and Jinn officially began their investigation, and with the assistance of the Mon Calamari initiate known as Bont Irin, who actually became the apprentice of Jedi Master Tahl, she discovered that Burak Chun, a promising senior Jedi student, was actually the robber, and later found out that Xanatos was revealed to be the mastermind behind the chaos. Tahl then discovered what he was actually after, that being the crystalline vertex in the Jedi Temple's treasury room, and once the Jedi Temple was secure, she helped trace Xanatos' company, the Off-World Mining Corporation, to Telos 4, and prompted Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi to travel there, thus causing all the incidents that we find with Xanatos versus Qui-Gon Jinn, and Xanatos committing suicide by dropping himself into a lake of acid. At about the time of 41 BBY, Master Tahl received a call for help from the twins Aritha and Alani from New Absalom. Their father had been murdered after being re-elected as Supreme Governor, and as she answered the call for help, she went to the planet of New Absalom alone, despite Master Jinn's objections, and upon arriving on the world, she went deep undercover as a former secret police operative from the Absolutes, who were now outlawed and trying to oust the planet's democratic government. Of course, as Jedi Master Tahl was deep undercover, she had not contacted the Jedi Council in several weeks, and Qui-Gon Jinn, along with his apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi, traveled to the planet of New Absalom to help her complete her mission. Around this time, Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and Tahl would finally declare their feelings for each other, pledging their lives to one another and speaking aloud the feelings that they have had for each other for long since they had become initiates and even Jedi Knights. But unfortunately, it was shortly after that the two of them finally declared their feelings and their love for one another that Tahl was kidnapped by Balog, the security chief that was assisting the Jedi with their issues and assisting them with trying to take down the Absolutes. Balog kept her in a sensory deprivation containment device, injected her with drugs, slowly drained her strength, and tortured her for some time on end until Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi rescued her, but she succumbed to her injuries and she had died in the arms of Qui-Gon. Because of this heinous act, Qui-Gon Jinn would be driven to near madness and would be driven to the dark side of the Force as he hunted down Balog and was prepared to execute him for his heinous act. However, before Qui-Gon Jinn could deliver the fatal blow into Balog's chest, Tahl whispered to him through the Force and warned him not to do so, causing him to regain control of his emotions, and he handed over Balog and the twins to the authorities of New Absalom. And that unfortunately would be the end of the story of Jedi Master Tahl. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe if you like. Share this video with your friends if you wish to, and I will see you guys later, and I hope the Force will be with you.